What's up, YouTube fam? Back for another installment from the Highland Knives perspective. We're looking forward this weekend to going to the Gathering, which is like a collective of Scottish knife makers get together every year and have a bit of fun, talk about knives, and there's like some throwing knives getting made for it, etc., etc. So it should be good. I've not made a throwing knife, unfortunately. I've just not got time for it at the moment. But and I wasn't planning on going, so I'm honest. So hopefully I will be able to make it, all being well. So this week I haven't put a video up for a while, so I'm just going to go over what I've made recently and what I'm planning making in the future. I've got some knives back from Heat Treatment. I'll show you them. Bit of a variety, you know. So we'll have a look at them, see what you think. Hopefully you can add a comment or two down the bottom and let me know what you think of them. That would be great. But I'll turn you around just now and I'll show you my box of delights. Exciting. Okay, we'll start up with these two bad boys. These are made from 1084, I seem to believe. These are a couple of big, and I mean big, choppers. Fancy handles on them. That bevel's a little bit wayward, but it was done a while ago. I'm getting better at bevels since then. So that's one of them. It's got the green Kerinite handle on it there with some carbon pins. Nice knife. This one here's another one that I've made. It's got red Kerinite handles on it, carbon pins. It's got a false edge in the top. Hasn't been sharpened. Quite like these handles. This is a Kerinite Blood Red, it's called. They look cool, eh? And again, carbon pins. No liners. Carbon pins. And that's them. These are all ski and do's that I've done. So we'll get them out of the way. I think you've probably seen them before. If not, then I'll just make this quick. I was making these sheaths last week as well for them. So I'll just go over them quickly. This one's got pearl handle. This is zebra wood and African blackwood. African blackwood and black ice Kerinite. This is, oh god, I can't remember. It's African blackwood and, might come back to me, that's zebra wood, that's orange Kerinite. Bengal Kerinite, should I say. What the hell's that wood called? Can't remember. Anyway, we'll leave them over there. Here's the sheaths I made from the other week. Just simple, basic sheaths, you know, but I've still finished burnishing the edges, as you can see, but they're all stitched up reasonably well, I'd say, for a beginner. I'll put a stamp just around the border, just to liven it up a bit. Anyway, that's them. Oh, here's another one here. This one is ebony, I believe, the handle. Brass pins in this one. Brass pins in most of these. What's beneath? This is a pearl handled gralloch knife. This one's micarta, pistachio micarta. I think that one's been seen before. This one's a cleaver. It's been seen before. This is a bushcrafting knife. Red liners. What kind of wood is that again? Oh my god, my memory is so bad. What is it? Babinga. That's what it is. So I'll take them out. I'm not going through this entire box because there's probably about 30 odd knives in here. Here's some others that I've done recently. A couple of cleavers. These are in stainless. That's SF100. That's also SF100. That one's been etched. Another couple of bushcraft knives. We'll go one more layer, will we? See what's under there. And then I'll stop and talk. We'll just go through the whole bloody lot. Bushcrafter. This is a drop point my green pearl kerinite. I like the handle on that one, I must admit. And these couple of bushcrafters. The one on the right's ebony, that's my own knife, I'm keeping it. The one on the left is Purple Heart, both with brass pins, both with lanyards and brass, and little lanyards on them. This was going to be a kitchen knife. It is black pearl. I wouldn't recommend the black pearl, to be honest. I had to grind 2/3 of it off to get to a pearl pattern, so can't recommend that. This one's red micarta. It's a wee skinning knife. As you can see, easy in the hand, you know, get your finger on the end there, etc. if you're skinning deer. Talking about skinners, here's some more skinners, slightly larger. I might get, this is just a green G10 handle, and I might yet texture it, to be honest, just for something different. These have been sharpened, so they will cut your fingers off quite easily. This one here is a little pearl drop point, pearl handled kerinite. It's actually vintage or antique pearl or something it's called, because it's lighter than the other pearl. These ones here are wood. They are, I believe it's ebony and red blood kerinite spacer and blue spacers, should I say, blue liners. And this is made out of 1084 and it's got a etched blade. This one's the same wood, orange Bengal spacer. These are kerinite. This is purple kerinite pearl, I believe. And this one is green pearl. I like the pearls from the kerinite, mostly. Not impressed with the black one, but hey ho. Right, here's the Gralaching knives that we've done. The standards are a bit higher with these because these are the most recent when you live and learn, as they say. This one's got a sharpening choil on the bottom of it, mirror polished blade. The handles are red spot, or black spot, whatever you call them. I've also got another similar one. This one isn't a drop point, this is a straight spined one. The blue spot scales on it. No liners. Oh, sorry, I'm lying. There is green liner in that one's. This is a obsidian black kerinite handle. SF100 blade. Semi-polished, you could say. It's not the best job. You can see in the right hand side there's a bit of mist just from my fingers pointing there. But that can be resolved before it's sold. Another straight spined one. You'll see that I keep quite a deep finger guard. That's because if you're processing deer or what have you, sees your finger sliding forward when it's covered in blood and guts and all sorts. Again, mirror polished. Nice knife, that one. This one's possibly my favourite of the smaller ones. It's got a slight drop point on it. It's got white ice kerinite handles, black carbon pins, black liners, and I just like the shape of the blade in this one. You know, again, mirror polished. Next up's the Bengal kerinite handles, mirror polished blade. It's not got an edge on it. Most of these don't have an edge on them yet. I'm reassessing my sharpening technique, shall we say. Contemplating buying a decent sharpening rig. This again is red micarta. You can see from the profile it's angled. You can see it maybe a bit better there in the shadow. Same on the other side. I was going to texture these, but after I'd angled them, I thought, it looks quite nice. I'll just leave it like that, you know. And it feels good in the hand, so why not? Next up, here's some more new ones that I've been doing. These are straight spined Gralach knife. I'll show you these handles, they're really cool. This is like abalone shell, it's meant to be. They look really, really nice. I like them anyway. This blade has been etched. It's stainless SF100. It's been etched in ferric, and I do like that knife. I like all of them really. That's the other one. Same handles, obviously, but it's a Gralach knife, that one as well, with a polished blade. Very nice. This was my son's knife, but he decided he's already got a knife, he doesn't need two, so I just put these green spot handles on it. It's obviously a lot wider than most of them in here. This is another etched knife, again in stainless, with snake skin scales on it. Snake scales in it, I guess. Or dragon scale, if you want to call it. Green scales, carbon pins, etched blade. Nice shape of blade in this one as well. I like it a lot. So that's what we've been up to. Pretty busy, huh? Oh yeah, I forgot this one as well. I really like these handles. It's hiding away in the background there. I've got some more of this handle material, so I'm going to use it for some textured handles. So I think it'll look quite good with that. This one I just kind of shaped, but as you can see, it's multi-layered green and black, lime green and black. I just think it looks really cool. I managed to get the grinds on both sides pretty much identical. You can see the pattern on that side, and you can see the pattern on that side. It's pretty much identical, so I was happy with that. It shows me that I'm going in the right direction. So like I say, all of these have to be sharpened. I'll put them all away, and then I'll show you the next batch that I've just got back from heat treatment. So just to prove that they are sharp, the sharp ones, first blood. Right, here we go with what I've got back from the heat treatment. These are mini skinners. I've just drawn a pen mark on there. That's probably the sort of height that we're going to end up with on the bevels. Obviously the bevels need to be ground again. I've ground most of the scale off of the face of the blades here, but it's only been in 40 grit, so I need to go up to about 120 and 240 on the sides here, and then we can start shaping the bevel. I'll shape the bevel with a 120 to start with, or an 80 or a 120. Then I'll go up to 240. So here we are. You can see here, this is a mark where it's been tested for hardness. Let me just see if I can get a close-up of it. There's a little, it looks like a centre punch dot in it. That's done at the heat treatment place to measure the hardness, and these came out at 61 HRC. The whole lot of them did, all these as well, 60 and 61 HRC, depending on the knife's end use. So as you can see, these are quite nice little skinners. They fit in your hand, get your finger on the end there, and you can use that to skin. This one here is especially nice because it's a bit shorter, a bit easier to use, I think. So we've got different various sizes. Let's see what kind of size of blade they are. They are probably about 2 inch or something. 2.5 inch, say, mostly. So I'll put them aside. I've yet to grind bevels in any of these knives that I'm showing you, so don't be blaming me in the comments. So that's the mini skinners. These are the smaller Gralach knives that I've been doing. You could also have them as bird and trout knives if you wished. They're kind of similar to those knives that I showed you in the box. Various different shapes of grind on them. You can see that one's got a slight drop point, that one's got a straight spine. This is a drop point, straight. This end one here is very thin at this point, and I'm going to be taking that pretty much to a full grind. 3mm stainless SF100. All of these knives are SF100. That's pretty much exclusively what I use at the moment. That might change. I use AEBL as well. This is my knife stock in the corner. I've got some 4mm AEBL. and 3mm SF100 there. So that's the smaller knives. Stick them aside. These are the larger knives, as you can see. These are a new one for me, new design. I used a couple of different types of handles in these. This is like the rounded handle. Obviously, I've yet to grind the ends to like go around that lanyard hole. You know, it needs a bit off of this end, obviously, but like I say, it's just back from heat treat. That's just the first grind. So tidy it up in the second grind. The second that one's just got a curve. It doesn't have a thumb stop on it. This one's got a thumb stop on it, so that when you're using it, you can stick your thumb up there and it won't slip. Again, this part here has got a bit of depth so that your finger doesn't slip. So we've got them in various widths. I prefer the narrower ones personally. That's got a nice shaped handle on it. It's got a hole for a lanyard on the end there. It's pretty close to the edge, so I'm not sure if I'm going to actually use that. It's closer to the edge than I would have liked. And I like these two. These two are, again, different shape handle. This one's got a lanyard hole that I will use. This one doesn't. It's just your preference if you want a lanyard or not, I guess, you know. These get thumb stops on them. And obviously they still need to be ground further up. The grind will go higher on these slightly by the time they're done. I'll grind them at, like I say, 80 or 120 and then 240. And then we'll take it from there. Again, this one's got a thumb stop. Same again, lanyard hole. Nice, nice. So that's that. These are the bigger Gralachan knives that I have made due to popular demand. People want bigger knives for Gralachan for some reason, probably for bigger deer, I'd imagine. So I've done, how many have I done? Quite a few. I've done one at 6 inches, which is this end one here, and the rest of them are all at 5-inch blades. Yeah, and these 5 are pretty much identical, handle-wise. Slight variations, not much. I didn't put any lanyards in these. I've put in holes for bigger, for 3mm pins. And like I say, I did one longer, 6-inch one. I mean, you might use that on big reds, I guess, but I personally would say that the smaller knives are easier to use. But it's just what the customer wants. You know, they've probably got a lot more experience of processing deer than I have. So if they want big, they can have big. I'll just stick these away just now. And poke them up there. Then we're down to the last lot, which is this lot here. This is a kind of varied selection of knives, as you can see. We'll start from this end. These two have got the same handles, lanyard holes, lanyard hole, lanyard hole, no lanyard holes in these two. And various sizes as well. Some are slightly larger than the other, but on average we're looking at just over 3-inch blades. Where am I? There. Let me just get one side on. We'll have a look and see what we're actually doing. Might help. Yeah, these are just over 3-inch. This one here's slightly longer. It would be 3.5, I'd imagine. I guess maybe 4. Yeah, it's about 4-inch, this one. So that was based on my son's knife, but it's got a drop point on it. Again, bevel's still to be ground. Bevel's still to be ground in all these. This one's got the larger holes for larger pins, 6mm pins, 3mm pins in this one, and an 8mm lanyard tube. Quite like the handle shape in these, to be fair. It fits quite nicely in the hand. It looks like it wouldn't, but it actually does. You know, it fits really well in the hand. And on these I've got a drop point and a straight point. So, like I say, still to be ground. So that's some of them smaller ones there. Here's some more of them. Different shaped handles in these. We've got a bit of a bigger belly on them, some of them, compared to this style, if you like. You can see there, this one's slightly wider. This one's slightly narrower. This one's about somewhere in between this and this. It's just a case of keeping everybody happy, you know. Some people have got small hands, some people have got big hands, and all points in between. So that's them there. I guess these would be like camp knives or like everyday knives, you know. They're, like I say, 3 to 4 inch blades and yet to be ground. So I'll put them aside. And the last two are these. These are, well, I'm calling them mini mucks. They're like Nest Muck style bushcrafting knives. The blade on them is, let me see, what size is that? It's about a 5-inch blade roughly. Yeah, maybe just under. Actually, let's just, yeah, it's about 4.5-inch blade. These are bushcrafting knives, obviously, based on Nest Mucks, which is an American design bushcrafting knife. Quite a high grind in these. Again, they've still to be ground a bit more. Handle wise, they're a decent width of handle, so you can get a good grip of it. You get lanyard holes at the end here. So I'll have a pin at the front, a lanyard hole at the back, and that'll be holding it together. 6mm pin, I believe. And again, this one's just the same, as you can see. Still to be finely ground. I just cleaned up the faces of them in the grinder after to get rid of the forge scale after they came back from heat treat. You can see here I made a mistake in the grinding of this one. I put a bit too much pressure on at the start, so it's higher, but that's okay because when I come to do the secondary grind, it's going to go higher than that anyway, you know. So I'll be able to not hide it, but you won't. It'll just look straight when it's done. It'll look like that, except the grind will be further up the blade. So that's the 2 Nest Mucks. And that, I think, will keep me going for a good while. Because like I say, there's 30 odd of them, 32 knives here all told. I think there's 5, 6 Gralux or so, and 6 of the others, 6 of the smaller ones, and there's like 4 or 5 of these pointy stabbers, shall we call them. I do like this design, to be honest. I'm digging it. I don't know if anybody else is, but I am. So that concludes the knives that we've got to do. Yeah, this is just a quick tour video, if you like, just to show you what I'm up to. Okay, so while I'm here, let's zoom around and show you what else I'm up to. I've got a load of sheath making material. This is all the belt clips. This is my leather working stuff. And I've got a load of sheath kydex here. All sorts of colours, black and white, blue, orange, green, dark green, desert green. There's like some carbon at the back, I think, as well. Green carbon and black carbon. Where's the black carbon? Here it is. Looks quite cool, the carbon. You know. I'll show you one that I made, if I can find it. It's under all this junk here. Give me a sec. Oh, there we go. This is one that I made already. This is my own knife. The reason it's my own knife is because it's not perfect. See that pin in the middle? You'll see there's a very slight bit of the pearl that's chunked off there when it's been drilled through, and I don't want to go grinding it down to nothing just to hide it. but I like the knife anyway, so I'm keeping it for myself. This is the black and white sheath. This is the blade of my own. Again, stainless etched. But I'm not showing you the blade, I'm showing you the sheath. So, let's just put that back in there. You can hear it clicks in nicely, it's not going anywhere. And I've also got a stand off for the back, which I made, which is this part here. This bit clips onto your belt, as you can see. That just clips over and snaps onto your belt. This part here goes on the back of the sheath. I'm just waiting for some longer fixings so that I can attach it to the sheath itself. I used carbon on the back, as you can see, and I used this relief pattern on the front. I like it. Also, making a kitchen knife. This is a bunker designed. It's turned out well. This is my first freestyle flat grind, and I'm really delighted with it. I honestly am. I mean, it's not perfect. There is a slight, see there, just at the bottom where my thumb is. So it's not perfect. Nothing ever is perfect. I like the handles on it as well. Talking of handles, this is a handle box. We'll just quickly go through that because you've probably seen it before. This is where I keep all my offcuts when I make handles, because you can use these for infill pieces and whatnot, or some maybe in some of the smaller knives you can use them for a section, you know. And the other box there, that's all the backing offcuts that I've got. So here we are, handle wise, Purple Heart with Bengal Kernite. That's going in one of those large curved knives. This is the Kernite collection. There's Sunburst or Sunfire or some crap. It's called Red Pearl. Another one of the white ones. Blue Ice. This is like glitter. This is another Pistachio Micarta. And another couple of thinner Blue Ice ones. So I'll stick them there. This is a jar I keep my pins in, pin stock. What I'll do is I'll just cut all the pins to the right length so that I don't have to cut them each time I'm making a handle. And I'll get the carbon lanyard tube in there. This is the wooden section. Some black wood, bog oak, Ambonia burl, a couple of them. And then over here I've got all the synthetics. Do you want to see some of them? I'll stick them on the table, it'll be easier. I haven't really planned this out. I wasn't really going to show you this, but here we are. So down here we have, that's some of that yellow and black stuff that I showed you earlier. It's that lime green and black that I made the other handle out of. So I've got a couple of them there. This is Fun Carter or something it's called. This one here, don't know what it's called, but it looks quite cool. I've also got some more of the green spot, the blue spot. I got these, but I don't like them. They look shit, in my opinion. It just looks like a mess, you know. So I probably won't use them. That's Babinga there. And like I say, I've mentioned what the rest of them are. Bog oak and black African blackwood. A couple of bits of lanyard there as well. Here's more of those scales that I was telling you about. Obviously they'll polish up a lot nicer than this, you know. But they're looking funky, I like them. You know, this is all for these knives here. I don't know what's going on for it yet. I've also got some micarta, and that goes with that red one. Some of the stripy stuff, yeah. And some orange and black and some blue and black. So that's the handle department. I should have just enough handles to do all these knives, but I'm not going to be doing all these knives like in the next couple of weeks. This is going to take me months to finish. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to do them properly to the best of my ability, because next year I'm going to some shows and I'm going to the game fair, so I've got to produce something that's top notch and that people can't look at and go, oh, look at that, that should have been better or whatever, you know. I just want them to be top notch by the time they get there. That's another reason why I'm looking out at sharpening systems. If anybody's watching this and they have a good sharpening system, do let me know. I used my belt grinder for a couple of these earlier knives, but I'm not that happy with it, to be honest. I think it could be a lot better. Don't get me wrong, it still shaves here, but there's shaving here and there's shaving here. There's sharp and there's very sharp, you know, and the difference is night and day. And I want them to be very sharp so that nobody can complain or come back and say, oh, I bought this knife off you and it's not very sharp or whatever. It went blunt quickly or whatever. So a lot of that is down to obviously the angle that you put your secondary bevel on at, and it's also down to the stones that you use to refine it to the point that it's like super shaver sharp. Another thing about sharpness that I've noticed over the years is if you're cut with an extremely sharp knife, and I'm talking really, really sharp knives, you barely feel it, you know. It barely feels that it's getting into your skin. Obviously, it's getting into your skin and you're going to be bleeding out everywhere, but if it's super sharp, it'll just go through hide or deer skin, like a hot knife through butter. So that's the plan. The bushcrafting ones, that'll be a bit of a blunter angle, if you like, because these are going to be used for like battening wood and stuff, you know. So you don't want a thin pointed edge on it, or it'll just bend, you know, or there's more liability of it bending. So it'll get a wider angle on the sharpening and the final bevel. So it'll be like I say, coming in at a wider angle, just so that it's got less possibilities for rolling the edge or chipping the edge or whatever, you know. There's much to sharpening these things as there is to making them, really. So I'm going to get more into sharpening and learn more and get them shaven sharp. So that's where we're at. I've got enough to keep me going. These ones are all 90% there, apart from a lot of them need an edge on them. Some of them, like so this one, needs a bit more shaping in the handle, I think. What I do is I make them, put them away, and then I go back to them and have another feel of the handle and see what it feels like. And it feels okay, don't get me wrong, but I think it could feel a little bit better, you know, if I take a little bit off these bottom corners, you know, I think it could be even better than it is. So, but it's a nice, comfortable handle as it is. But you know, if there's room for improvement, improve it. That's my motto. So I'm going to put all this away back to where it came from, and then I'm going to put all this away. Then I'll put the knives away, and I'll start on one type. I'll maybe do probably start on the biggest ones, and leave the skinners till last. Probably start on the big Gralachers. Those, I don't know, I haven't got a name for these yet. Pointy bastards, I suppose. These can go next, and then I'll go on to these. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time. If you're still here at the end of this video, you've done well to listen to me blabbing on. Like I say, I'm looking forward to getting some of these built. I really like a lot of these handle materials that I've got for them. So I think they're going to make some really nice knives that are going to be very useful, practical, and sharp, which is basically all you need, you know, for a decent knife. So I'll probably post up some videos as I go, maybe of a couple of knives or whatever at a time that I'm doing, and you can check in and see what you think, okay? And in the meantime, thanks very much for watching. Peace out.